So hi Abha, how is everything going?
It's going great. What about you?
Yeah, same. Abha, before we actually start, we would love to have a like a small brief introduction.
Sure. Firstly, my name is Abha Himani, and currently I am an engineer at Atlassian. Before this, I worked at Flipkart for around 5 months, and I've interned at Salesforce and American Express as summer intern and winter intern, respectively. I did my BE in computer engineering from Thapar, and I was born and brought up in Ranchi, Jharkhand.
Oh, that's really impressive. I mean, like when I came across your profile and all, I saw like we connected back in October or November. Like when you were,
I
uh,
love it.
yeah, when you were like switching from Flipkart to Atlassian, right? So which was the year when you actually graduated? Like.
It is 2024. I graduated this year.
Oh, that's even amazing. The reason I asked is because cracking Flipkart and like cracking all these things, all these like big companies is actually very tough, especially for people at like in third year or fourth year of their colleges, right? So, could you elaborate more on that? Like, what was your I would say preparation strategy, or what did you actually follow up in your college, and how did you actually go ahead with all of this?
Yeah. So, firstly, what you have to learn is that every company has its own interviewing and recruiting process.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, when I cracked Walmart, I knew that Walmart doesn't specifically focus a lot on CP. It focuses a lot on your operating system, computer networks, basic DSA, all of that. So, if I prepared CP really well for a Walmart interview, I might not be able to crack it, right? So, moving on to Atlassian. So, Atlassian has 2 rounds for a fresher. If you want to switch from one company to another, it has 2 rounds for system design and another 1 round for system design and DSA. Uh,
Okay.
2 more rounds for DSA
Mm-hmm.
and 2 HR rounds, right? So, if I didn't prepare system design for Atlassian interviews, it gets messed up. No matter how good I am at TSA, it doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So, knowing how to prepare differently for different companies, that is the important thing that you need to learn.
Great.
So, that is something I learned during my internship preparation time. So,
And how
back
do
in
you,
college,
yeah, how do you get to
yeah,
know like what company would require what kind of
yeah,
interview kind of thing, right?
yeah. So, there's a thing called GFG interview blogs
Oh, okay.
archives. Okay. So, you just search the company's name and then GFG interview experience, and you'll get a minimum 30 blogs on how people have appeared for that interview, people who could crack it, people who couldn't. So there might be makeathons and those experiences. So those things matter a lot, and like studying from those places, knowing what a company asks. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times those questions are even repeated.
Mm-hmm.
So being prepared, mentally prepared to the moment you get an interview call, these are the first things that you should do. Get prepared for that company specific interview experiences, and then practice a bit of DSA. That's it.
Mm. So, like specifically talking about the tech part and like DSA and development, there's a constant debate that I've been seeing like since like past 2 or 3 years that what is more important, I would say. Like is it DSA or is it development or where a person should actually focus on. And looking at the I would say the tech Twitter community, right? There are kids who are like doing crazy with the like in all senses, I would say. Like they're preparing for like they're great at DSA scales, solving lead code problems every single day, and then they're also good at full stack development also, right? So what do you in your experience, what did you really come across when you went through these companies and all?
My major target was on MNCs from the very beginning. There was a phase in my life where I started targeting startups because I wanted to experience there and work there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and not just any startups. Like I started targeting Zomato or working at Zepto just to experience that thing. That is the time I cracked Flipkart and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, see, the thing is, it is extremely dumb. I'm sorry for this word, but it is extremely dumb to compare those two things. If you are interested in development, go for development. You excel there, crack a company there, stay happy. If you are interested in DSA and going for MNCs, go learn DSA, crack MNCs. That's it. Um, uh, in a lot of places that I have seen, very truthfully speaking, development was not asked a lot, just very basics, which you can,
Mm-hmm.
you anyway do in the 4 years of your college. So, for example, React.js, basics of
Mm-hmm.
React.js, Node.js,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So, but DSA in a lot of companies, for example, at Flipkart, at let's say at Atlassian, these were asked in quite a good amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in my experience, DSA helped me a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty sure there might be hundreds of people who would want to, support development because it helped them.
Exactly.
So just do what interests you. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like in my experience also, I've realized that back in college, even I was very confused. Like, I was exactly in the same position, like where should I put my more focus and all that, right? So, but eventually I realized that there's a place for both kind of people, right? Like for the people
Exactly.
who do, like who are really good in DSAs and all, and the people who are really
Definitely.
good at full stack development or in the development part. And I would say there is no huge difference in terms of the pay scale and the growth, the opportunity and everything,
Exactly.
right? So that is
बिकॉज
the
अल्टीमेटली आफ्टर
yeah.
डीएसए तुम आकर कंपनी में आकर तो डेवलपमेंट ही करोगे, वहां पे थोड़ी तुमसे कोड फोर्सेस के क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करवाएंगे वो लोग. The
Yeah,
only difference
exactly.
is in what companies approach. And this reminds me, I've had a lot of seniors, जिन्होंने development करके बहुत कुछ निकाला है life में. They have done
uh
GSOC and then they've cracked crazy companies.
yeah.
So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि you won't succeed there. Just you should have good interest and good
Mhm.
intentions to be in that field. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Abha, coming from just you just mentioned that you're from BE from Thapar University, right? So it's a different field altogether, right? Like studying BE and then like let's say going ahead towards the computer science kind of a path, right? Like it's kind of a
Mhm.
switching streams and in that scenario, right? So it must be difficult in college in terms of experiencing your exams and all that, and then cracking companies later on. So was that kind of scenario with you in back in college?
Yeah, so firstly, I would like to clarify I was B in computer engineering.
Oh, okay.
And secondly, and second, first year of my college, I remember I was in ECE. That time was a very difficult time for me to, cope up with electronics and
Mm,
understand coding because no one in my batch was that much interested in C++ or, coding or anything. And that was the time I started developing my interest towards, understanding C++ because that is what I was taught in college. So before that, I believe till 12th, I never had
mm-hmm,
a computer science background because, like, unlike other people who opted for computer science. So
mm-hmm,
I think uh, that, and like first year में क्या होता है कि a lot of people want to brag, right? So उन्होंने basic Java कर रखा है तो उनको लगता है कि वाओ मैं तो सबसे ऊपर हूँ. So इन लोगों का the thing is वो लोग एक bubble में रह जाते हैं ultimately,
exactly.
and उनका कुछ placements में you will always see them in a no name company because they were
Mm-hmm,
in 4 years of their college in just a bubble
in just a bubble, yeah.
which they could not break, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
उनके
yeah.
friends ने वो break नहीं किया उनके लिए. So like 12th तक first year तक they'll be like 4 star on code chef, 3 star on code chef, 5 star on code chef, and then till fourth year you'll see them unplaced or probably placed in a no name company.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
यार
yeah.
जो लोगों ने 12th तक नहीं करा कंप्यूटर साइंस आई बिलीव बहुत इजी होता है टू कोप अप. उस समय नहीं
Uh,
लगता है बिकॉज यू आर सराउंडेड बाय पीपल हु विल डीमीन यू. एक महीने
mm-hmm.
मैक्स उसमें हो जाता है सब कुछ कोप अप.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even I come from like till 12th, I never had computer science, or I didn't even know how to code and whatever it is. But everything just
Same.
developed. Yeah, everything just developed
Hmm.
in college, and things started to escalate there. So a lot of
My
college students.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
tell me.
yeah. So
Hmm.
a lot of college students, especially let's say in my college as well as like there's a people in fourth year, third year, like who are targeting and cracking placements and all that, right? So they have a very common doubt, or I would say a very common misunderstanding that is created with the social media and all that. That they do like CGPA especially, right? CGPA is something that does not matter a lot, or like they downgrade CGPA in some sense or the other, right? Which I completely am against of it, because like if you are in an academic field, and like if you are studying something, then obviously your CGPA should be good, right? But have you
Yeah.
ever encountered such cases where or what is your opinion basically? Does it matter or not?
Yeah, so yeah, see, मेरे साथ I personally, in my case, I have rarely encountered such situations because मेरा mostly सारे placements off campus था,
Oh.
and I was debarred mostly from colleges because I had already, yeah, I already had one offer, so I'm not supposed to sit for another. And for example, internship season में Salesforce हो गया था मेरा,
Mm-hmm.
so that was the time I was debarred. And then Amex में American Express, which I cracked, it was completely off campus, but I was debarred again. So
Mm-hmm.
personally, I've not experienced, but my friends, right? I have had very close friends, and I've seen their entire process of online interviews and everything. It is horrible when it comes to not being accepted because you don't have 0.01 CG ka difference.
Absolutely
It is
true.
horrible, trust me.
I know, I know.
Companies
Yeah.
don't let you even sit for their
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
OAs,
I know,
basic
I know.
OAs, if you don't have 9 plus CG,
Mm,
especially in a private college. So it gets very difficult. I've seen most of my very deserving friends not being able to make it because they didn't have 9 plus CG or 8.5 plus CG.
absolutely.
So it gets very messy.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like even my juniors, like my even my batchmates right now, they are actually struggling a lot in terms of CGPA and the very strict guidelines of colleges that are there, that you cannot sit for like placement after if you have like a lesser CGPA and all that. But I didn't know that you have cracked these companies off campus, like
Oh
even
yeah.
yeah, like where to all the people that I've talked to, they always say that getting into a company through an on-campus placement drive is a better or is something which is more feasible as compared to off campus, because off campus may apply karke and like going ahead in that path is very, very difficult, and getting into companies and all is another kind of a battle that a student has to fight, right? So how does that like how were you able to like go through the off-campus placement path?
Yeah, see, the first step is to be extremely active on social media, especially LinkedIn, from the very start. Yeah, matlab, I can't tell you, I got offers from Amazon, from Walmart, uh,
Mm-hmm.
from Atlassian, even just through LinkedIn, just
Mm-hmm.
because I was active enough to just apply there. And I saw those openings very soon, like the moment they launched.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied there, and by the time people get to know about those openings, it is just high time. A lot of people have
Mm-hmm.
already applied, so your resume gets rejected and everything. And I've seen one more thing, that a lot of people are crazy about ATS score and all of that. It's just, according to me, it's just BS. My
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
resume does not have a very good ATS score. It is around 70s, but it works just fine. So
Mm.
the content in your resume matters a lot.
Mm.
The things that the design, the pattern, none of that matters. No one cares. And according to me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
secondly, is off campus mein, yeah, you have to be very active and you have to be completely besharam. So if a
Mm-hmm.
recruiter has called you and now she's ghosting you, just call her back again. Just call her
Yeah.
back again and again. That's how, so for example, in Walmart, okay. So the moment I was switching, um, uh, I had Flipkart. I was working at Flipkart, and I thought, let's just try something else. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
apply for interview and everything. So that is when Walmart का एक hackathon होता है in March probably.
Mm-hmm.
So उस मार्च से सितंबर में उन्होंने बोला था, और उस मार्च में I was in some particular top something in India. So
Uh-huh.
then they came in September, and then they told me कि चलो इंटरव्यू लेते हैं. एक इंटरव्यू के बाद they ghosted me. So I kept on calling them. They took another interview and then another interview. So yeah, that is, a lot of people just give up. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you think your interview went well, just ask them how it went.
Yeah.
If they have any feedback, at least they should remember that there was an interview taken, because
Mm-hmm.
thousands of people apply for the same job opening. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
easy to be surfaced out.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
that's yeah, that is an important key take. Like even I have experienced in my experience that if you do not follow up with companies, right, especially on like in an off-campus scenario, and like if you do not let your manager or like whoever the interviewer is, like like let them know ki, ha, you are there, and like you just took the
Yeah,
interview and all
that
that.
you're
So that's,
interested.
yeah, that you are
Yeah.
absolutely interested. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
don't sound desperate, but sound interested. Yes.
yeah, that's great. Like you also got a lot of opportunities through LinkedIn and let's say social media kind of thing, right? But a lot of engineers or a lot of people who who are our colleagues and all that, right? They are not kind of a believer in the let's say in the power of social media or in that scenario, right? Like even I have encountered a lot of engineers, a lot of colleagues of mine who believe that like why should I create content and why am I creating some sort of content, right? But I have seen the power of content and the power of social media, the kind of impact that it can make, right? So,
Yeah.
moving on, like why did you start first of all like creating content and all that? And would you also recommend others to do so?
Yeah, so I don't create much content on LinkedIn because यार मतलब I need to convince myself that it's okay to be judged by such a large amount of people, especially
Okay.
recruiters. So that I create a lot of content on Twitter. So that I enjoy a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, see, अगर if you do it because you think you'll get an outcome out of it, right? जैसे कि तुमको उससे कुछ help मिलेगा or you build connections, so it
Mm-hmm.
won't last long. You should actually
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. Like I love Twitter. I love enjoying Twitter. I love posting on Twitter. I love getting trolled on Twitter. So it's fine. I mean, it's completely fine for me. But
Yeah.
if I do it, for example, if I start posting on LinkedIn, the
Uh,
content which LinkedIn people post, I might
mm-hmm.
not enjoy it that much. Someday
Mm-hmm.
I might try doing it again, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very sure how much I'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the thing is. So if you're doing it for outcomes, right? Um, the thing that will help you get the most outcome is by approaching recruiters on LinkedIn. So,
Mm-hmm.
or probably posting once in a while so that just there in the feed, people know you. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't do it because you don't want to do it and all of that, and because you think it'll get you a job. It it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work that way. You have to actually like it before people
Yeah.
understand. Like people are not that dumb. Like they won't follow you or like your content when they know that you're using them.
Exactly. And I believe the
Hmm.
whole the audience on both the platforms is also very different in nature, right? Like
Yeah,
LinkedIn is
exactly. Very, very different.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. LinkedIn is called as the Facebook of the corporate, right? And I think which
Hmm.
is completely true, right? And there are a lot of people just sitting there to judge you on the basis of what you have done, and it actually creates a lot of. I mean, it can work in both the ways. Like it can work in a positive way also, as well as it can turn down into a completely different path, right? But on Twitter,
Hmm.
the whole thing is very light. Like people are quite
Yeah,
chill,
like even if
like
someone judges you, you don't care.
yeah, yeah, it's more like that. It's like कि
Yeah.
हाँ चलो ठीक है, it's okay, right? And like there
Yeah.
are very less number of things which are actually very serious on Twitter, like like the one that we saw that the case of suicide and all that, right? So that
Yeah.
is one thing. Apart from that, there are like multiple things which comes on the national media, right? They are taken up as serious, but looking at the, let's say, the tech Twitter community, I would say that is one of the best community or the people in and around tech who are there on Twitter, right? I would say that is the best thing that
Mm.
has happened, like especially for someone who is like growing ahead in their careers and all, right?
Yeah, majorly because यार to be very honest, tech community है नहीं और कहीं पे इंडिया में. If you see anything else,
Yeah,
Instagram पे it's just Twitter that it is present, so it
yeah.
automatically becomes the best. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it can improve a lot. It can have
Yeah.
better content, better followers, better people
Mm,
around. You don't have to interact with dumb people who just say shitty things about you because you
mm,
have posted a particular picture, or they discard completely your achievements.
mm,
So tech
mm,
community can be much better, but
mm.
for what we have, I think tech Twitter is the best.
Yeah, yeah. So, like recently, I was going through Twitter only and all. I encountered this some sort of I would say a troll that has happened in your account or something. Is that I'm
Yeah,
getting it right,
yeah.
or I don't? I mean, I haven't looked at it in a clear way, but
It
is there
helped me.
anything?
So there were people who were commenting extremely horrible things, okay, just
Mm-hmm.
because I told people that I went from here to here
Mm-hmm.
and I thanked my mom, dad, and
Mm-hmm.
they were commenting and they were trolling like crazy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I should have felt bad about it, but I gained around 1,000 followers in a day. So I don't care. I mean, that is how you have
Yeah,
to be when you have to be on social media. You love
absolutely.
posting things and you don't have to care. That's it.
Absolutely.
So these people, these no-named anonymous trolls cannot stop me from posting whatever I want. It's my account.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that a lot of my friends are like, content creators and dealing in like huge number across the platforms, right? And they have said the exact same thing that I asked them also like, how do you deal with these kind of people, the hate or the troll that you get across media platforms, right? So they said the exact same thing that you just don't have to be like, you just have to have an attitude of I don't care and all that kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
that actually
I
helps a
agree.
lot.
And you should not care because these are no, firstly, you're not I'm not a celebrity that,
Yeah.
what people think about me would affect my career or me in any way. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
someone who shit posts a lot. So if someone wants to say something bad, it's their life. Let them do
Yeah.
that. People are posting things at 4 a.m. in the morning. किसके पास इतना फ्री टाइम है यार? छी छी छी. मैं तो इन लोगों को अपना ट्वीट में हर ट्वीट को शेड्यूल रखती हूँ, पता है? मेरा हर ट्वीट 10 बजे सुबह जाता है। मैं बस
Uh,
सोती हूँ, उठती हूँ 8 बजे, जिम जाती हूँ। ये लोग सब रोते रहते हैं ट्विटर पे।
but
So it doesn't matter at all.
yeah. That's actually great.
Not affect my
I would
life.
say, yeah, strategy. And but I've seen a lot of other people as well, that they are affected by these kind of things. But then again, you have to, if you are like bold enough, then you have to adapt that particular attitude, and that's
और
something,
block them. बस
yeah,
block
or
कर दो,
block
सीधे
them
block.
exactly. Yeah. That is the
Yeah.
best thing I would say.
Mhm.
Right. So moving on, Abha, if there is anything that you would love to say to a person or to a student who is like, starting out in tech, starting out in getting a better job and all that, any piece of advice?
Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm too young to advise people उतना ज़्यादा. But one thing that has helped me always is करते रहो apply. कब तक reject होगे?
Uh,
So this is one thing that I've learned. And यार ये internship time में भी सीखी थी मैं. So internship में there were a few companies which I was aiming like crazy for.
mm-hmm.
वो नहीं मिला मुझे. And मैं
Yeah.
बहुत रोई. Like there were days जब मैं 3-3 दिन तक खाना नहीं खाई because of the rejection. Imagine how crazy I was. And then just after a month of that rejection, I got into Salesforce, which paid like 2x more, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for their stipends. And then I tried for some other company for not getting their placements, but then I
Mm-hmm.
cracked Atlassian, which paid a lot more than them. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then before that I cracked Flipkart. So yeah, ये सब just because of one failure कभी give up मत करो यार. मतलब करते रहो. कब तक
Yeah.
रिजेक्ट हो गए, हो जाएगा कुछ ना कभी. So it
Yeah.
works out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Always. You just have to keep trying यार. बस give up करने वाला थोड़ा एटीट्यूड मत रखो. एंड थोड़ा
Mm-hmm.
चिल रहो लाइफ में, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. होंगे होंगे रिजेक्ट, थोड़ा कम पैसे में ले लेंगे, थोड़ा छोटा घर ले लेंगे, थोड़ा छोटा
Yeah.
गाड़ी ले लेंगे. खुश रहो बस.
Yeah, exactly. Like this is what I always say to my, I would say, batchmates and juniors also, like, just get out of college first and then you'll figure out things on your own. Like, no matter whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, there was like a lot of, I would say, recession and all that that was going. So company placement
Yeah.
and our college scenario was not that great. So I was like, just
Mm-hmm.
get out of college in any way and then you will figure it out, ki how to switch and
Hmm.
where to go ahead and what to do, right? So I would say
Yeah.
that that's a great
I
advice to
think
give.
23 and 24 batch was very much affected. 25 batch is working really well. I think काफी अच्छा जा
Yeah,
रहा है उनका placements. मैंने
yeah.
अपने college का ही पूछा. They were like, Thapar's placement this year was insane. Very, very
Hmm.
good. People
Acha.
like Apple hired from there, Google hired.
Hmm.
16 लोगों को hire कर रही है. So that's the
Yeah,
placement this year is going amazing.
yeah. So with this, Abha, we come to an end, right? Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being there with us, sharing all your insights, and I hope you had a great time too.
I had a great time, Sankalp.